Hi, this is Professor CC19, and we need to talk. I've been thinking about making this video for a while now, even though I don't usually post about politics on this channel, because as much as I like to follow politics, I know that there's a lot of serious things happening in our world, and a lot of other things that we can be focusing our positive energy towards. But I think this is something important that needs to be talked about, and I was inspired to go through with making this video the other day by a conversation I had with one of my doctors, actually. And we were talking about politics and talking about how it seems that respecting other people's beliefs is going out of style in what is called cancel culture nowadays. If someone doesn't agree with everything you believe in, then you do everything in your power to diminish them, belittle them, make sure that their view can't be heard. And I must say, that is one of the most selfish and petty things, in my opinion, to try and squelch any view other than one that you agree with. It's such an immature thing to do, and to think that that's part of any point of the mainstream in America is shocking to me. So, I respect your point of view politically. I want you to leave your point of view in the comments below, but if you try to belittle other points of view, those who don't agree with you, or if you are saying things that are inappropriate or threatening towards me or anyone else, I'm not going to put up with that, because that's not helpful for any of us right now. But aside from politics and the changes in culture that are really quite concerning to me and a lot of other people, just the basic concept of respect. And respect, as my doctor reminded me in our conversation, shouldn't be given to a person based on their political affiliations or point of view. Respect should be awarded to a person based on who they are, the quality of the work they do, and how they treat others. And I'm going to use this as a segue to talk about some of the things that I respect, some of the people that I respect in the world of politics right now, and the things that we see happening in our country, and those who I do not respect, including a few things that I feel very passionately about from what I've studied in college. Now, first off, those who I do respect. I respect all the candidates who are running for president and their vice presidential picks. I want to say that this is recorded and is coming out the same day, October the 23rd, 2020. Last night, October 22nd, was the debates, the final debates, presidential, which, of course, I watched. And something I saw, and I respect, both candidates for being far more mature and conveying information a lot more clearly than in the first debate. I respect the moderator a lot more than I expected to, because of how fair a job that she did, and even in the beginning trying to bring the candidates together. I don't know if anyone noticed how the framing of the questions were, trying to bounce off what one person said to lead into what the other person is trying to say. As far apart as the two candidates were, I was amazed by how the moderator tried to bring them together. It didn't last very long. It didn't work as well, but I was amazed and delightfully surprised by that in the early stages of last night's debate. And so I respect both candidates, their vice presidential picks, which I think played a role in the improvements which I saw last night. And I would say that's a good summary of what I respect in the race for president right now. Now, also, there are things that I don't respect. And the culture of the mainstream media right now is something that I don't respect. Now, I'm not going to support or not support either candidate publicly, because unlike pretty much every other outlet of information right now, it's not my job to influence you of which way you should vote. It's not my job. I'm not aware of all the facts. I don't think really anyone is aware of all the facts. But I think everyone should be presented with as much information as possible to make an educated decision. And if you go to the mainstream media nowadays, the quality of their work has diminished significantly, which is one of the reasons I no longer respect them. You can tell there's a bias. And this goes back to something I learned in my college English class about credibility of information. When it comes to stories about either presidential candidate that are unverified, one thing I learned for a long time, it was emphasized very much in my college English classes, is that you need credible information. So you need to check your source. It needs to be a reliable source, a scholarly source. It needs to be verified. That is one thing. And all the talk about a story that's going to hurt the Democratic candidate not being presented because it's not verified would be totally up to standards of a college or university when it comes to credibility. The only reason that it is wrong not to show it is because unverified, not necessarily credible information is presented all the time to damage the candidate on the Republican side. So you can see there's clearly a double standard there. Doesn't have to be verified if it hurts the Republican, but if it's not verified and it would hurt the Democrat, can't touch it, have to stay away from it. And one reason I feel particularly annoyed when seeing this is if I would have presented any unverified story, no matter who it was for, as part of a research paper in college, I would have gotten a freaking F on that paper, because the information wouldn't have been valid if it was not verified. So when news sources put it directly in their report that this source has not been verified, then why are you putting it out there? For one candidate and not the other, but really for either candidate. Why are you putting it out there at all? Okay? So for the quality of their work going down so significantly, I do not respect the mainstream media. Like I said earlier, I have a significantly higher level of respect for the debate moderator from NBC, Kristen Welker, last night, as well as for the candidates for president and their VPs. But most people in the mainstream media, I have lost a lot of respect for. Now, lastly, and this probably isn't something that you've heard about recently, or maybe even much at all, but this is something I feel very strongly about. And if this is the first time you've heard about this, I hope you would feel as strongly as I do. There's one senator on the committee in the Senate who was questioning Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett last week, and has been in the committee for a great deal of time, I believe. And to be clear, this has nothing to do with the Supreme Court or ACB. Senator Richard Bloomenthal from Connecticut. I have absolutely no respect for him as a senator. I have virtually no respect. I have to have some respect for him as a human being, but I have the slimmest margin, and I will tell you why. If you haven't heard about this story, about Senator Bloomenthal lying for many years about serving as a combat veteran in the Vietnam War. And I will tell you why this is so passionate for me. In college, I took a class that taught me about the ins and outs of the Vietnam War, specifically about the Vietnam War. That was the entire class. The background, the conflicts within it, the battles, the military efforts, the aftermath, the people involved there, the people involved in our country, just everything surrounding the context of the Vietnam War. And I learned so much. I had a great teacher in that class, and it's probably the most... I think everyone should take that class. I think it's probably the most important history class that I took at my local college. From what I learned in that class, and I'm sure most of you know this, the Vietnam War was very controversial, almost to the point where we have today, but not quite. Many people here at home in America didn't believe we should be there. Others did. They supported what we were fighting for. Others, like I said, were against it. And you better believe that the soldiers in our army also had personal beliefs of their own, but they still went to Vietnam. They still served in our military as being dedicated to America and preserving America. and preserving democracy and freedom in the world. It may not have been right. It may have been right. It may have been wrong. And people still hold beliefs on the Vietnam War still today. But the soldiers who served in that war, I have the utmost respect for, because they served in the absolute, the absolute worst possible conditions you can imagine to be in. Talking hot and sticky, in a jungle, in water, humid, just the most miserable weather and conditions to be in for a long period of time with combat gear and scared that people are going to kill you. That does not sound good. So that is why I have the utmost respect for Vietnam War veterans, and more so today because of how controversial the war was, they did not receive a warm welcome when coming home. They were spit upon, they were mocked, and despite that, these soldiers had to live their lives knowing some of the horrible things, seeing some of the horrible things that they had while over there. Many of them suffered with PTSD, and when you think about it, just celebrating the 4th of July, seeing a fireworks display is supposed to be a majestic thing. It's something that's exciting for most people. Soldiers with PTSD can't enjoy that because it brings back the horrible memories of war for them. So they can't even enjoy America's birthday, a national holiday. So they have gone through misery in the war, horrible conditions afterwards. Many have committed suicide. And now all these years later, when, like I said, some of them have died, they have endured their condition for all these years, now they're starting to be recognized and honored for the work that they did in service for our country. And for Senator Bloomenthal to have not gone through any of that, to not know what it's like for soldiers who have actually gone through the horrors of war, to try and get on the bus now, when we are recognizing these soldiers, is absolutely appalling to me. That he would try to get sympathy or credit, I'm not sure what he was trying to get, but the positive sentiment that should have been going to these soldiers for decades, without having earned any of it, means that I have so little respect for that man. And I want to share this story just because of how passionate about the Vietnam War I am, and about hearing this. I just needed to share this with you. So, yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. I know this video is very different than what I usually do, but I hope you understand now a bit more about respect. Again, respect isn't something based on political beliefs. It's something based on who you are as a person, how you treat other people, and the quality of your work. And this my personal beliefs about who I respect, that we're seeing a lot of right now, who I do not respect, and some things I feel very passionate about. Again, thank you for watching. Leave your comments below. Hopefully they will be constructive. Hopefully we can learn from each other. You can share stories about people you respect or not. Please keep it respectful to me and anyone else who's commenting, because I don't think we need anything not negative, anything hateful right now. But yeah, I hope you have a great day. I hope you're all staying safe. Thank you for listening to me. And I will see you in the next video, which will be back to my regular content. Bye.